Alright, we're on the roof today. We're going to do a little resealing. This thing's like 18 years old. This is the original seal between the front cap and the fiberglass roof. And I finally got a little bit of a leak a few months ago. So I'm going to take all this out and redo it. And something handy to do is get you, here it is. This is called a sealant call-out sheet. You know, you should have one for your RV. Check with your manufacturer, because this is Winnebago. They make things nice and easy. So it tells you what sealant to use where. So it tells us here between the cap and the roof, we want to use sealant D. And I crossed it over. Sealant D is 75 AM. That is this here stuff, Manus-Bond 75 AM. That's the product to use. A lot of people just instantly grab Dicor for a lot of this stuff, and that may not be the case. They don't want Dicor on this. In fact, I called the factory to talk to them about it, and they didn't even recommend Dicor. They recommended NU Flex 311 on different areas, like if you have a skylight, you know, that area, you want to use that. Ooh, the wind just slammed the door closed. But they want you to use the NU Flex 311, which I assume that's somewhat like Dicor, self-leveling. So these call-out sheets are really handy. It kind of helps explain what goes where. Something else I want to address is the fact of the roof sidewall joint. You're supposed to inspect this joint actually twice a year, it says, and I'll show you where this joint is. It's right here on the side, and you can see here, you push on it, see that seal has failed, and since that's your aluminum rail, goes all the way down the side of the RV. And what happens when that fails, that water gets in there and actually gets into that rail and can even run forward and come out and leak into the RV. Now, there's already weep holes in the bottom of this track. You'll see them every 4 or 5 feet, something like that. But you need to get on the roof and check this seal. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to cut this seal out and get this redone. Actually, it's the same product, that 75 that I say. This here, the Manus-Bond, that's the same product we use on the side part. Here we are making some progress. So this is coming off pretty easy. We're just taking a razor blade. First, we're slicing it.
Careful with it.
We're carefully, slicing it this way, and then we're taking this razor blade here and coming under like that to get it clean. And then we'll go back through with denatured alcohol to get the surface really clean, and then we'll lay us a bead of caulk on there, so keep those leaks at bay so that doesn't happen no more. Now, while I was thinking about it, I was going to show you a close-up view here. Might explain it a little bit better, because you can see how the fiberglass roof rolls down and tucks underneath the awning rail, and that's that sealant they want you to inspect twice a year to make sure it stays sealed and doesn't break, because otherwise the water will get in behind it, get in that rail, can end up going to into the RV, possibly, I guess, from either end. Maybe if he was on a steep angle, and I think that's maybe where I got my leak. I noticed I had my RV parked for a while with the nose down on a hill, and that's when I got my leak. So it may have been, I don't know if the water was rushing in. I noticed there's a big gap here. I mean, I just peeled the caulk out, but it was fairly loose, and if water, because you see on this side here, it's all, the seal has failed. And we did this several years ago, so I'm not surprised. But we're going to peel all this out today and get it redone, and hopefully stop that leaking nonsense. And it's coming along here. It's coming up pretty easy. Not too bad. Well, we've used our denatured alcohol and cleaned that groove out. All the old caulk is gone. It's nice, clean. It's dry now. But down here, you can see we've taken out all the old caulk along the side, and done the same thing with it using alcohol. Got a nice, clean, dry surface now. So we're getting ready to lay a bead on this thing. Trying to do a good job and keep the water out. Okay, well, it's another day. Well, actually, it's been a couple days. Actually, we let this cure real good. It's good and dry now. So I got the front cap all sealed well, and then you can see this here is all sealed up. You can see a little residue from the old where we peeled it off, but that gap is sealed. Now water can't get in behind it. And today what I'm doing, let me get down on the side of the step. is right here on the front cap. I just dug out all that old caulk and resealed it. And I was going to tell you something that helps tremendously is where it is, mineral spirits. There you go, get you some mineral spirits. Because this stuff, that Manus-Bond, that stuff is tenaciously sticky. Normally when you caulk, you kind of go back and just wet your finger, but wet's not enough. You need mineral spirits. Put your finger on mineral spirits, and then come back and you can smooth it out. Because it is so sticky, it'll just stick to your finger and you have a big ball, big mess. So mineral spirits is the trick if you want to get a somewhat smooth job, because it is some sticky stuff. I was going to add to this a little bit. You may be wondering why I've got this little gutter here. Well, several years ago, I had issues with this window leaking a little bit because the water would pour off and hammer into this seam, and I added this to keep the water off of it. But as years went by, I actually took the window out, and the problem was when they set the window in at the factory, they didn't shim it enough from the bottom, so the fiberglass was just barely catching. The hole was just like 1/8 of an inch below this. So after I had the whole window out and I shimmed it up a little bit higher to fit the hole better, got a lot better seal. And this here is also polyurethane. Polyurethane is some really good stuff just to go along the edge, but you don't want to use polyurethane to seal the frame to the fiberglass, or you may never get the crazy thing out because it's such a tough material, because that's what this is too, that polyurethane. Very, very good stuff. Well, there's one thing I was wanting to point out to you, because we got this all sealed, it looks good, but one thing I didn't point out is we didn't bother to seal underneath the canopy here, or the awning, I guess it's what's called, the awning, because I did seal under it a few years ago. It was a pretty good job taking this thing loose, and very dangerous, by the way. The thing it's got a lot of tension on it, so you got to be very careful. Download the manual and figure out exactly how to do it where it don't hurt you. It's a lot of tension. So the first time we did this, it was cracked under here real bad. So we did loosen this up, took it out of that shaft here, and laid this all on top of the RV, so we could reseal the fiberglass all the way down through there. But that seal is still holding. I guess it's protected by the weather, mostly because of that big metal shield and everything. Anyway, it turned out pretty well, I think. Keep the water out, that's the goal. All right, just doing the final touches up here. Seeing that seam now where before it was all cracked, water was getting in there. It's all sealed up now, all the way up and down through there. And if you wonder what that is, that's my old gutter I made for getting the water off the air conditioner that drips out. And it's kind of odd how they want, when Winnebago's call sheet, they want you to use this, what's this stuff called? Manus-Bond 75 AM. They want you to use it along the edge and on this piece, but when it comes to the tip top on the rear cap, what was that called? NU something like 411 or something. Looks like Diacor to me, self-leveling Diacor. So they want this back here, but on the front cap, they want you to use this stuff. Don't know the logic to it. Maybe it's just maybe a bigger gap. I don't know, but this is the original here, and it's held up really good for 18 years. I just have to touch it up a little bit around the ladder. So it is done extremely well. Could use a little cleaning, but it's good and sealed and not leaking. So anyway, check your roof, get up there, be careful if you're not afraid of heights. Sure don't want to fall off this thing. And let's see what your roof looks like. If it's got a crack in there, if it's opened up, you want to get her sealed. Super duper. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.